Hi, hello there. Sorry about
Uh,
me laughing. I'm
Hello.
there was some distortion
Uh,
going on there, but yeah, I was just laughing at myself on my screen. I was just looking at myself, and it was making me laugh because
Me too.
of my.
We're both looking at ourselves to see how we look like.
I was I was modelling myself on a sort of like circa 2000 member of some kind of random indie band from that from America or wherever of that time because of my facial hair where it's just remaining on my chin. So, but that is also for my short film.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very impressive.
it's going to convey a little bit like a devilish kind of look, but also I actually really wanted to dress up in the film as a gambling wood nymph or a sort of fawn, but I don't know if this is something that I'm willing or ready to do because of my standing in the local community could be threatened by it. If there was one time where I actually shut myself out of my flat and I had a t-shirt and boxer shorts on and that's it. And I was locked out of the flat. I had to go and walk around the street down to see where my parents live because I've got like a key there. You see, so
Oh, okay. So your parents live close by. That's that's kind
yeah,
of a subject.
yeah. My sister as well. Actually,
Why?
it's
But aren't you afraid that they're going to come over whenever they want?
well. I went to. I mean, they invited me to have a coffee this morning, so that wasn't for any specific reason, but they wouldn't start just wandering around to my flat nowadays, especially
Okay.
my dad with the way my dad is, and then also uh, my mum's got some arthritis problems, for instance, which is just,
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah. So
Yeah, okay. Well, it's good that maybe you can go and maybe that you can help if they have problems, right? Or I don't know.
yeah, that's the best thing, obviously. Ideally, I mean, I don't want to go around there and just like bother them or something. So
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say, I have to say first that I'm a bit mad on you, a bit upset with you, because I
because
tried very hard.
because of my
I tried.
because of my facial hair.
No, I
Mm.
actually like the facial hair, but I was really mad on you for recommending me the movie What You're Into It. Oh my god, I just feel like I've wasted an hour or an hour. I don't understand that movie. I don't understand the
Marlena,
middle of the.
Marlena, how dare you? I mean, this is
I mean, it's like you recommended me to listen to Christina Aguilera, and I'm into hard rock music. So it was a bit, off-putting.
so. I mean, let's just check. You definitely watched the right film. You did. You did watch
Yes,
the one that was made in 1981 or came out with Betty
yeah,
Davis in it.
Betty Davis, yeah.
Yeah, because they made a new version of it with Angelica Houston. I've not seen that, but I mean, I suppose the thing is with me is, for me, the film is like a lot of people. They saw it when they were a youngster, and you didn't really get many horror films made by Disney at that stage. I mean, they had a sort of like darker period where they tried making a few serious films. There's ones more serious than that, like Night Crossing with John Hurt, where somebody goes from one side of Germany to the other, in a hot air balloon. That's a real story, and obviously
Yeah.
that's more serious than Watcher in the Woods. But I mean, I will say that, especially when I was young, I found the scenes where she sees the girl blindfolded in the mirror and things. I found that scary myself. So
Yeah,
I'm a little.
maybe for children, yeah. I mean, children would appreciate this movie because, yeah, it's for alternative children or something. Children who are more into this
But
goth.
I thought you would have at least been maybe a little bit scared.
No, no, no. I mean, I was laughing because it was just so mild. Like very, very big jump from what I usually watch, like crazy shit. Like I mean, I haven't yet watched A Train to Busan, but A Tale of Two Sisters is so traumatizing. That movie really is traumatizing. I mean, it traumatized me a bit, and I can see why so many people are obsessed with it. Like if you go to these YouTube channels, you will see amazing rave reviews of The Tale of Two Sisters, and I can see why. It's very, very, it's horrible. Like I mean, it has a very psychological, disturbing story, and that's the type of movies. I mean, that's very
Are
like.
you saying? Are you talking about the Train to Busan or?
No, a Tale of Two Sisters.
Oh right, that one. No, I haven't seen either of these. So
Okay, so like briefly, the A Tale of Two Sisters is about like it's about like a dysfunctional family that loses their mother through suicide. So it's like it's very like disturbing, and then there are appearances of these people that died. It's just more like psychological horror, but it's very scary, traumatizing. People said that they were like left very damaged, after watching the movie. I mean, like psychologically damaged, because it just shakes you pretty badly. And I do agree, because it just goes very deep into the psyche of the people, the psychological, nature of the people.
well, it is 20 years old.
And I find,
Marlena,
yeah,
I know
it is old.
we should have dealt with this before we went live, of course. But is there any way of making your sound a bit better or anything? Because it's a bit sort of
The sound,
it's,
no, is it bad? Because I don't have a problem here. I don't hear anything. I can turn it on, the volume. I can turn it up. I don't know. Is it better now? Is it good?
no, it's all right. It's okay. It's like I can hear myself a bit, or it's sort of got these weird noises in the background, as if you're suffering like some kind of haunting / exorcism going on in the room. I don't know.
I mean, I can find my headphones and I can use them, but maybe it will help. I don't know where they are. Okay, just a second. Yeah, I can try them. What about now? Is it better now? Okay.
Yeah, it is a little bit better, I think, for sure. Hello, genitalia, and I mean that's a great name. I've figured it out already because I've now suddenly got an IQ of at least 97, so I'm pretty advanced, and that name is obviously supposed to be talking about genitalia, not genitalia. Well, I can't. I mean, either way you say it, it's basically the same thing. But it's not funny, it's not clever, and please rename yourself and re-enter the chat again because that is just not acceptable to have the name of genitalia in there. That's just it's offensive, especially towards me as a man, and I don't know whether you as a woman find it offensive, Marlena, but
No, I don't find it.
I think you should find it offensive.
Okay.
I would actually think you should sue somebody for that and also get
Really?
maybe £100,000 in damages.
I mean, it's like for me, it's like I'm more relaxed about what people are doing, as long as they don't do anything to me personally. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, it's
Well,
there.
I am doing this show, as I said, going back when I was in a hotel in Ipswich. I went to see a friend called Kevin, who right now he's messaged me. He's told me that he's watching. What is he watching? Wayne's World 2, I think. And he's bringing in some comparison points between Wayne's World 2 and Twin Peaks: The Return, which I'll come back to them in a minute. I mean, But he said he is. I don't know what he says. I don't know why I'm telling you, James. I should be telling this person on Twitter called an account called Fake Colossal, who posts sort of amazing comparison points between films, and Lynch and stuff. But I don't know if Lynch was massively influenced by, for instance, Wayne's World 2 in making Twin Peaks: The Return. But really, at this point, I will say anything is possible. So,
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not impossible, and there is something of a link between. I'm not quite sure whether it's in Wayne's World 1 or 2, which of them has Laura Flynn Boyle in it, who played Donna in Twin Peaks.
Okay.
So I imagine, based off of that, it's highly possible that Lynch watched Wayne's World 1 and 2 and then, made some notes probably. I imagine Jenna in the chat would agree with me, and also Cyberpunk Dystopia, aka Johnny, he'd probably agree. But anyway, yeah, you were talking about A Tale of Two Sisters from 2003. I've got it on my screen now, just so you can see here. Looked it up on. It's got some nice picture of two. They almost look like twins or bloodied dresses, and really says released from a mental institution, Sumi returns home with her father and sister, only to face her cold stepmother's strange behavior.
It's really weird, the movie.
That's it's a good angle for me, I think. Hello.
It's more like Twin Peaks than other movies.
Yeah, I can imagine that is it a Korean film or is it Japanese?
Yeah, it's Korean, I think.
Because from around that same time, I'll show it actually on the screen. There's another. I'll just put it in here. Memories of Murder. This is another film that it was actually remastered and re-released. It's kind of regarded as something of a classic, but from the same year actually, 2003. And it's about a real life case, but
Memories of Murder.
It's by the same same director who made Parasite, but it's not like Parasite though. It's more like a mixture of like a proper detective case. Then there's just sort of moments in it where you think, that's a bit Twin Peaksy. They've got they're investigating, obviously finding a body or something in just these big, huge paddy fields, and the different detectives or police are coming along down to the side of the field, and then they keep trying to get down this one part of the field, like the side, and they start falling down it, sliding down the edge of it, kind of by accident. So it's got that, not necessarily like Andy slamming a plank into his face, but sort of a mixture of it's got a very serious sort of side to it. Where this detective becomes completely obsessed with trying to find who killed a girl or other ones, but can't find any. It kind of goes on, and he just can't find an answer. So he just becomes obsessed with no relief. So it's sort of an impossible situation for him. And the music from it as well is very haunting, almost.
Okay.
A little bit Julie Cruz-esque kind of music. It's a very good film. I recommend it.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I remember being very impressed by it. And also this week, I just wanted to mention that the drama A Murder at the End of the World premiered here on Disney. I think it's available on Hulu in some places, like America, but it's also on Disney in other places. So it's basically by Britt Marling and this Zach Batmangleish, who basically created the OA. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Yeah, I told you I've watched it.
Yeah, okay, I apologize. The OA is what you might call something of a more, I don't know, I can't really compare anything to anything other than just an advanced big project, and then this is a bit more. It feels a bit more sort of focused in, and it definitely references the OA a lot. But beyond that, I just thought it was so well done. You know, so well made. The first
Yeah.
episode I've watched twice now, so.
What is
And
it called again?
A Murder at the End of the World.
Okay.
So I just want to share a little bit of a clip from it here. Hopefully this will work.
Hey guys, welcome back. A Murder at the End of the World is a
right.
varied selection of tracks that follow the amateur Gen Z detectives' investigations into crimes. A Murder at the End of the World on FX, which was created by Britt Marling and Zal Batmanglij of the OA fame, features an ensemble cast that includes, among others, Emma Corrin of The Crown.
This sounds like AI generated, but I thought it was going to be music.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be music from the show.
Methodical approach to unraveling the text's work. The OA.
Yeah, it sounds
Scene of episode 1 of A Murder. Shortly after, they read episode 2 of A Murder at the End of the World is a flashback in which Darby examines a girl's corpse and discovers.
Well, you have to watch it really to understand. But I think I've not seen a show on sort of streaming anywhere for certainly a long time or ever really, where the main characters in it start singing Annie Lennox's "No More I Love Yous" within the first 10 minutes of the show, whilst they're in a car. It's sort of, so it breaks with convention in that kind of sense, you know, a bit like Lynch.
Okay.
Lynch does a lot. So it's something different at least. I mean, it's very watchable, very well made.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Really, well, I highly recommend it. Sorry. And was there something else you wanted to talk about more in depth or anything to do with?
Well,
either.
No, well, I said I said that I wanted to talk about zombies, but I haven't had time to watch A Train to Busan, which is highly regarded as a zombie horror movie. But yeah, I can't talk about it because I haven't watched it. But I heard good things about it.
Train to Busan.
Train to Busan. It's like, I think it's also Korean or Indian.
A virus sweeps through the country.
Yeah.
And then.
No, it's Korean.
Those on an express train to Busan, a city that has successfully fended off the viral outbreak, must fight for their own survival. So, I don't know exactly. It sounds a bit like I would compare it probably, and I don't mean this seriously at all, to The Commuter starring Liam Neeson, where he's on a train. So okay. Yeah, it's obviously I presume that people start becoming zombies on the train. Who knows?
Yeah, well, it sounds like this, right?
But in terms of zombie films as a whole, you must have watched some sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
I started watching. You know that famous show? What is it called? The Walking Dead.
The Wanking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
I think it says the Whacking Dead.
Wanking Dead. The Wanking Dead would be like awful.
So that sounds like my kind of film. But also, you could have the Whacking Dead, where it's every character is played by Joaquin Phoenix, just as a way of getting people to go to the cinema.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Like, how many people would really go to the cinema to see a film about Napoleon unless Joaquin Phoenix plays Napoleon? I mean,
yes,
that's coming out soon. And I at first I was like completely uninterested, thinking, oh, that looks like something that could just go straight to Netflix or whatever, you know. But to be honest, the fact that Joaquin Phoenix is in it makes me think, well, I could watch that at the cinema. I mean, at least it's a serious film. But like yesterday, I did go and see a horror kind of comedy film called Thanksgiving by
you told me.
Eli Roth, and I just wanted to go and see something which was something that was just easygoing, really, in the sense of not being like a serious film per se. Just and it was that. So, but at the same,
So is it a good horror movie or is it just average?
I would say it's just average, really, especially for Eli Roth. I mean, it's not anything kind of unusual, like say when he did the Hostel film, or I mean, he even made a film called The Green Inferno, where it's sort of dealing with cannibalism, but
Yeah.
Like a new version of Cannibal Apocalypse. So there was originally a film called The Green Inferno already, but I mean that was quite funny as well as horrific. But this is more like basically just better than the last Scream film, I would describe it as.
Okay.
So you might not think that though. I can imagine, because the whole thing feels like a parody of these sort of like there's all these kind of clean cut sort of jock, the pretty girls at high school, this sort of cookie cutter town, as they might say. I think just like perfect American town, and there were many shots in it where it was just sort of so just everything just filmed in the most mundane fashion possible. No real, not giving off any kind of atmosphere or anything, which I suppose the Scream films, even the last one, still did have something of an atmosphere. But I mean, it was basically mainly about like a tongue-in-cheek horror film with fairly extreme horror, extreme gore. I mean, but it's just sort of gnarly rather than anything, and at times kind of ridiculous. Like a woman being put into a big industrial cooker. Sorry to you. I was got a cold or something.
Well, doesn't sound very good.
I know it's very. It's like -20 where you are now, Marlena. So
it's very cold outside. Yeah, it's I think -1. So yeah, I'm trying to bundle up. Snowing and all this stuff.
To Charlotte in the chat, I don't know any conspiracies with regards to Argyle. Please,
who is this?
Fill us in on that.
No,
well, it's a new British film. I think it's probably got. I don't know how much kind of might be American as well, but I don't know that much about it. But I would rather just go and see it rather than really knowing too much about it myself.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, so you go to the cinema quite often. Maybe this is not about the topic of the show. And
that is the main topic that I've often spent at least 4 hours discussing just whether I should go or not to the topic.
I mean, you're kidding now, but I mean, like, how do you find? I mean, you have good movies there. I mean, in the UK, because we had
this year. Sorry, not this year. This week there does seem to be a surplus of films to see. Like, I could have gone to see Argyle. I could have gone to see. Well, I went to see Thanksgiving because I decided I don't want to see a serious film. And films by Eli Roth, I probably always give a chance to them. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But do you get British movies that are local, that are not very popular? Because we get a lot of Romanian movies that are shit, so I don't go to cinema to watch those, I'm not interested in
I think
those.
you can there are British films, yeah, of course, but a lot of them might be the kind of ones that are shown at the local quad cinema, which is a sort of independent cinema, and
yeah,
they still get a relatively quite a lot of people going to see them. Like the famous British director Ken Loach, he made a film recently like that came out called The Old Oak, You know, it's about an immigrant and a local in a community sort of getting to know each other, that kind of thing. You know.
Okay.
Ken Loach is always known for making films which are entirely, you know, almost like they feel real life, you know. So,
Okay.
I mean, just so I'll give you a list of everything that's on at the Showcase, which is the multiplex I went to yesterday in the shopping centre.
Okay.
They've got the Marvels now, Five Nights at Freddy's, which my nephew, who's 8, wanted to see. I actually asked them if he'd be to get into the cinema, and I says I'm going to bring him in, but I've got like a beard for him, and then you know he's relatively tall for 8, and she says, no, I don't think it'll work, to be honest. So I said that's a maybe, right? It could work. She said no,
Okay.
it won't. No, it won't work. Don't do it. Okay. So even, I mean, if you put a beard on an 8-year-old, it's not going to look good, is it?
No.
And considering he was in the shop the other day and he was at the till, he was trying to sort of scan something that he'd drawn himself. I'm not sure he's really ready for Five Nights at Freddy's. So that's, I don't want to spoil that. You know, like these youngsters though, they just get these obsessions with things that come out, and then in the playground they're like, "Oh, have you heard of this thing? Have you heard of that thing?" You know.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I'm stoked to see. You know, I mean, I'm a massive Hunger Games fan. No, and as a joke, Polly, I did see. I do think the Hunger Games films are okay, though, from what I've seen of them. Also, Killers of the Flower Moon, which is about 4 hours long, nearly, and I think, and Josh, who you know I met in Morecambe recently at that film festival, he said this film doesn't feel like 3 hours and 40 minutes. So I said, what did it feel like? And he said probably about 3 hours 28 minutes. So no, he didn't. Well, then there's also May to December, which is, as you see a lot of films nowadays, a Sky original, which is a TV company, which is not only in the UK. I mean, you may have even heard of Sky, and it's Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, about 2 women who have a relationship with a 23-year age gap. Oh my God. I mean, it gripped the nation 2 decades ago. I don't know where this gripped the nation, but it was certainly not gripping the nation in the UK. So there's that. It's only on it's only got 1 showing left today. Then there's Saltburn. That's what I was actually getting confused with. I thought Charlotte in the chat was talking about that earlier, but she's talking about Argyle. Saltburn is about quite a well-known actor. Like he's going to be the Joker in the next Batman film. Barry Keoghan. He's drawn into a world of the charming and aristocratic Felix Catton, Jake Elordi, who is in the show Euphoria. So he is invited to this eccentric family sprawling estate, it says here, but it's not like the whole film. It was him just wandering around looking at the gardens or looking at the estate. I mean, it must have some kind of I presume it becomes a bit horror filmish, but that's a film I want to see, and I don't really want to know anything else about it, you know. So
I'm really looking forward to that movie, but I haven't seen any sign that it's coming to our theaters. Probably not.
Sorry about that. But I wouldn't be surprised that it could do, because it's probably got big studio backing. But anyway, since you mentioned like UK films, this has been on a few weeks now, which is fairly successful for most films, really. Some Otherhood, and it's a parody of the UK urban genre. Rico and Kane have got it all: big dreams, no respect, and a 15 grand debt. Could things get any worse? Well, no doubt in the film they probably could, but it's sort of supposed to be a bit of a comedy take on. There were some that came out called Oh, I forgot now. Anyway, but you know, these kind of films that are basically adulthood.
Yeah.
There was one called. They're sort of depicting like inner city sort of life, you know, with youngsters. And the ones which this is parodying, actually, Noel Clarke, who directed them, he got into trouble for being, you know, harassing women and all this kind of stuff when it went to court. So it caused a lot of problems with his career. And I could have predicted it would have all happened because I was in London basically, and he got on a train and stood right next to me in a kind of cramped underground carriage, and he had, and for some unknown reason, his foot was on top of mine nearly.
Wow.
So I'm not even joking. And it was so
That's
funny when he got off. There was like this guy who went, "Oh yeah, really love your work, mate." And I was thinking, yeah, mate, you know, like, I mean, the thing is, he was actually in Doctor Who. That's the only thing I knew him from, really. So
did you say anything to him?
no, I didn't know. I didn't because
Why?
I can't start claiming that I'm a fan, can I?
Why?
Well, I could have said, "Why are you standing on my foot, Mr. Famous Person?"
Yeah, exactly.
I have seen people who are well known in this country on the London Underground before. Like I saw Ainsley Harriott, who's this TV chef. So
Oh, I haven't seen anybody there. I really haven't seen any celebrity, unfortunately, while I was there. But
well, if you go down to where Big Ben is and stuff, and the Houses of Parliament and that area, you can do occasionally like MP spotting. But I think most people are not really that excited about that. They're not.
oh yeah, no, the parliament people, no, I don't think so.
But I was pretty sure that in that area I was walking around down, but more on down by the Thames, and I was pretty much certain that I walked by Cillian Murphy wearing a hat.
Oh, really?
So
Well,
this is
but
like,
you're
you
not-
know, quite. This could have been
See,
10
that's-
years ago, you know.
Yeah, but that's a problem
Oh.
because you didn't go to him and talk to him, you know. So you would have known for sure if it was Cillian Murphy or.
Well, I only knew him from like, I mean, he wasn't famous then particularly for. Well, he was in, for instance, the Batman film where he played the Scarecrow, but like I only knew him from a film that was ages ago called Disco Pics or something, where he played one of these two sort of crazy teenagers in this sort of tragic love story. But you know, I don't want to just. It's not really something that I want to do, you know, to talk to people who are famous or whatever, unless I'm like particularly, you know, I want to for some specific reason, because you know I don't like being sort of just stopping them and making them do something purely for my own pleasure, you know.
Yeah, me neither. I never done that before. Actually, I met some like very famous people, but they were like more from this underground scene, the underground rock scene, and they were just normal. We just talked and stuff like that. But I mean, if I saw like a huge celebrity, you know, I don't know if I would have the courage to go to them, and it would be like I would just, you know, take all you know from their time, and I would just like it would be like I don't know, maybe not such a like pleasant moment.
You know, you're coming from like a different background, a different country and everything, like, you know, with knowing my, you know, ex Morella, like when I was talking, if I was talking about Twin Peaks actors or anyone famous, she would say something like, "Oh, they're just normal people, James," you know, like as if that was some kind of massive revelation. So I would be there like this, like,
oh, okay,
what? They're normal people. What? We don't know people. They're above me, definitely.
Do you mean the Romanian woman that you went out
Yeah,
with?
my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
they're just normal people, James.
Okay.
Just normal people.
Yeah, but I don't think she represents the general population of Romania, because I think there is a lot of, you know, like how do you say, people demonize celebrities here also. So it's not like
yeah, but there are a lot of people who are really into just as I am, this is not a joke. You know, Uwana Redu, especially after hearing her song too, when I was.
You too?
You don't even know this song, do you? But
Do you mean what song?
Uwana Redu.
I don't know.
I'll play it in a minute.
You're talking Romanian. I forgot. Ioana Radu. Radu. Okay, no.
She's she's completely transformed her entire appearance. Like she was quite obvious. She was quite chubby. She was quite chubby, wasn't she? And then she won her like you probably didn't know, but she won her like Romania's Got Talent, I think, and then like lost a load of weight, and then further body modifications.
In this country, like you have to go under plastic surgery. It's like a rule if you want to become famous. Like it's
with her, it does look like a bit like okay, just calm down a bit. Like you look fine when you just lost weight. I don't know what you're doing now. Like
you have no idea what's going on in this country and culture. Like it's impossible to live in this country without plastic surgery.
I actually got plastic. I got plastic surgery when I was there.
You did? Wow, that's cool. You have to tell me who the plastic surgeon was. Exchange.
Well, no, it was. I actually went to who's in the chat now, the earlier woman, Jen Taylor. And I had a penile extension at a clinic in Bucharest, and now I can boast 5 inches of solid man meat.
Okay, that's what you went for.
That's what they actually said. It said on the poster, "Get your man meat sorted here." So I was like, "What do you reckon to this, then, Marilla?" And she says, "Well, it can't get any worse than it is already, to be fair." So.
Well, you came to the right place, because here, like people love plastic surgeries, and they would just give you the best plastic surgery of your life.
Well, I had also injections into my balls to make them bigger, and also my buttocks. So I do have very large buttocks now.
But no, I mean, in all seriousness.
No, I'm talking in all seriousness.
But
we need
no,
help.
you're not talking. But I talk because this is exactly what happens in Romania. That's reality. People have plastic surgery.
Can you hear this song now?
No, but can you just? Oh, this is like Ioana Radu.
Turn it off immediately.
This is Ioana Radu. Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, intelligence. Number 1 producer, number 1 DJ.
You like this, don't you?
I do. Gonna meet them, ești tu. Walking, I do. Gonna meet them, ești tu.
I honestly, I mean, myself, I like it, but
Yeah, well. Probably foreigners in Romania like this kind of stuff, but native Romanians hate it. So,
no, but come on, it's good.
This kind of stuff. No, we don't like this kind of stuff.
What's that thing he's playing like that? Like the organ thing. I like that. I like it.
Organ thing? I don't know.
I don't mean his organ.
That would be something.
Ai plecat și mi-ai lăsat un suflet gol. N-ai știut.
I actually looked for the translation of those first lyrics, and it says something like, "I have an abscess and also leakage of fluid from my breast implants." So I thought that was powerful.
No, it's
those
about
lyrics are quite powerful.
Breakup. It's about a breakup.
Oh, okay. Well.
Stay. Yeah, normal people. Yeah, I think there's some countries where celebrities are not very important, but I think in Romania celebrities are very pedestalized by people, and I hate that. And I think the same thing happens in England. I think like people are obsessed with celebrities as well, right?
But at the same time, I think like someone like Arana Ridu, I watched the video of hers.
She's not a
Where-
celebrity. I don't think
where it
so.
was, she's just a singer, and if people like her singing,
Yeah, she's
that's
just a singer,
it. But
yeah.
she's not. She doesn't like live in some kind of penthouse flat. Like she just lives in a normal flat. I saw her, and I mean, yeah, she had quite a lot of stuff in it. She's obviously had some money, but she's probably spent all her money. You know, it's
Yeah, probably.
it's not quite like here where if someone's really well known or something, they kind of have to. Well, they don't have to, but they can live the high life. You know what I mean?
Yes, but because in UK they have more revenue, you know. It's not like Romania, it's not very, you know, wealthy country.
No, but the thing is, some of her videos have like got, you know, I mean, 2 has got like 27 million views, but then, so basically that doesn't mean anything, does it? It's not like she gets any money from that. It's just.
Well, yes, I think she gets. It's monetized her channel, right? I mean, you monetize your channel, right?
Yeah, but I mean, all her songs are owned by a record company, so you know.
Oh, okay. If her songs are owned, yeah, I understand. Yeah. So no, she doesn't get. So
I mean, she probably gets something, but not that much.
yeah.
Because the entire music industry in Romania is like run by gangsters, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything.
Or also,
about it.
it's also some of those
I don't
people who, you know, those people who are like begging when you're at the car junction.
Yeah, there are many beggars. Yeah.
Those people are in charge of the music industry as well. So
Yeah, I didn't know
quite
that.
I remember we were at a junction and like everyone seemed fairly sympathetic to the people begging and stuff. You know, and I was like going, oh look, you know, this person's only got one arm or something. And Morella just said she was sitting in the back of the car. She went, "Oh, they're just pretending." So obviously it was a fake one arm. So they probably chopped the arm off themselves, I imagine. Yeah.
No, he was faking. Yeah, he was faking.
No, the person was definitely missing an arm, I'm sure.
Or maybe not.
Like,
I don't know. Yeah, it's possible, probably. But
like,
I mean, you
what's
can
his
never know
called?
because
Like,
there are
the
people
one on
who
Man in
fake as
Twin
well.
Peaks, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There are normal people out there, asks Jamie. Who knew? Well,
I think she talks about the celebrities who are normal or who just. Oh, I mean, like people who don't pedestalize celebrities or something like that, or who are not crazy for celebrities. Maybe I don't know.
I would say there are people who, due to say their upbringing or whatever, are more average. I would say that's, you know, a bit more ordinary at least.
Okay, yeah, probably.
You know, people who've had maybe a good upbringing or a good general life as such.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably a bit more rounded, but at the same time, they could just then also come across as quite dull. So, you know.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, yeah, I would say that, for instance, Voltaire on this show, he's a bit like that. He's like, you know, he, you know, was brought up in a mansion.
Oh wow!
With, you know, and they were like probably like multi-millionaires, his family and stuff. And now he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to slum it on this channel called Damn Good Coffee Time. You know, pretend that I'm kind of like, you know, down with the youth and being hip and everything.
Has he ever been on a show to show his face and shown his face like this?
No, he refuses to show his face, probably related to. I don't know.
Is he a celebrity?
He probably might be a local celebrity in LA, I imagine, because
yeah,
I think you know, like you know, he's an attorney, and they have like lawyers who he deals with employment law, and I imagine if you look in an area like that, they have these big billboards, you know, with lawyers on them and stuff.
But
And
what is
and
employment? Wait, employment law. What is it?
well, he's dealing with people who've had problems in terms of their employment, like say they were unfairly sacked or something, or
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Can you sue someone if they fire you unfairly?
Well, you can in LA, you can in America. I mean, I think it's
Yeah, you can do it here in Europe.
like one of his signs. It says something like, if they've kicked you out of your job, you can sue their ass. I'll help. And there's a picture of him like this, kind of, like, yeah. Oh. And then you
Okay.
did. In some of these, he actually had him standing there like shirtless, and he was all covered in like oil and holding like an AK-47 or some
Funny.
form of weaponry, etc. Just posing
I'm
with a
happy for
gun,
him.
basically.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
sounds
he
like
had a
he has
gun.
a good brand.
He was holding like a gun and actually like a Rambo knife. Sort of like, hey,
Well,
any problems?
like if he was like that, I would definitely hire him if I had problems, because he sounds like really fun as a lawyer.
Well, he is fun, but at the same time, when he put those posters out, many people in LA did question his sanity, because and then
Well,
he took it even further, like with posters where he was fully naked in them, but with merely a gun in front of his genitalia. So
yeah, that's a good brand. It's like
yeah, and
you
then
push the boundaries.
just at the very bottom of the poster, it just says, "Call me Voltaire Lynch," and then his number, basically, which is something like 5500666 dash lawyer for hire. And
He's
yeah,
like he's self-employed, right? He's like freelance.
he works for
right?
it's called Blue Steel Lawyers. So
No, it doesn't sound like a like a real lawyer company, like law company.
I don't know, Blue Steel Lawyers. Let's get it on. That kind of thing.
No, what I mean,
If
I
you've
know
got a
that
problem,
lawyers.
just come to my office. Spelled on the poster CUM, and I'll lay it down and sort it out.
That sounds crazy. I mean, do you think that he will get mad
America
on
for
you
you.
for what you see, for what you have said?
I think he would be glad that I'm not telling the whole truth. This is merely.
Happy.
This is
will be happy
half the truth, I would say. I mean, people call me Half Truth James, and that what I've said so far, I know it is like pretty shocking, but if people knew the full truth about Voltaire, that would be shocking. That would blow. I mean, that would literally blow your mind.
Well, see, you paint him in a very interesting light, So it's like I'm now curious about him. What kind of person this guy is.
I think anyone would be curious.
Mm-hmm. So that's good, because you are doing a very good branding for him. Branding strategy.
Strategy. I will tell him about this and say I discussed him in a sensible manner, on this video and everything. And I hope he appreciates it, really.
Not sensible, unsensible, nonsense. The non-censored version of Voltaire.
I don't think. I mean, if people think about what I'm saying, I think they would have more respect for me, especially. Like I showed my mum this today, and she went, "Oh, that's great. Yeah, thank you." Like not interested in it at all. But if I show it to you, look.
Sure.
2028, The Return of the Woolly Mammoths, and obviously, my name is Woolly.
So I don't get it. What's the problem with the 2028?
Well, I mean, I'm being a.
Do you mean?
I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know Mandela Man, who's on this channel. He often talks about things in a very like personalized fashion. Like say, his name, he calls himself Bean or something, for instance. instead of Ben, and then he'll see a sign about baked beans, and then immediately this translates into the baked bean company is trying to send him some kind of underground, Illuminati message.
Okay.
I mean, this was definitely that, because it's like, says 2028, the return of the woolly mammoths, as in exciting news for Daily Star readers fond of the Pleistocene epoch, which I'm personally not that bothered about it. But it says here, lovable boffins pledged to bring back beasts back to life in 5 years. I don't know if that means that they're going to take 5 years to bring them back, or they will bring them back in 5 years. So that's 2028, 5 years, which is not very long, really, in the scheme of things, is it?
No. Wow, that's exciting. I mean, to see those.
Well, I think it's definitely something that should be made the main news story in a paper here.
Well, that's the most.
I mean, I think the Daily Star is kind of funny as a. I'm actually going to put this one on my wall, but a lot of its stuff in it is obviously meant in a comical way, And it's not mean like some tabloid papers can be. So.
Yeah. Yeah, in America, we can sue anyone for almost anything. It's chaotic. I mean, I can't understand this, because I have.
Well, it's like there's some really important news in it. Like, for instance, rich are having a tough time. Like in this country, we call posh people, rich people, toffs. It says even folks on 100K in salary, obviously, can't pay their bills. So that is quite worrying. I mean, I'm actually now quite.
It's so
I'm quite
offensive.
worried. I'm quite worried about rich people.
Oh my God!
I don't care about any poor people. I just look. It says here, look, toff at the top. Toff at the top.
Oh God.
That's a toff lady.
Yeah, I see.
That person is a real toff. Look.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the chat, Jamie. I have seen Thanksgiving last night. So
really,
yeah,
it's good. Oh wow.
Yeah, it got 4 out of 5 in a review of here, so that encouraged me. But I didn't read the review. I just sort of went to see it, and I didn't read it really. And I mean, it's not like got any massive sort of moody atmosphere or anything like that, and it doesn't. Like the Scream films, they have sort of like music prominently sometimes, particularly, like the Red Right Hand song from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. But it's not really like that. It does feel like a parody of these sort of high school slasher films. But there are moments in it that really gave me a flinch. For instance, there's a bandsaw going, and this girl just falls forward onto it like a hand goes onto it, right onto, and it's going, and she puts her hand onto it. Ew. And then her whole body falls onto it, and it's like, fucking hell. And I was like I actually bought this burger and some fries and stuff, and like some of my fries, I chucked them up in the air and they went flying into some people behind me.
What? Why?
Well, and some of my burger, it came out of the bun and went like it detached from the rest of the burger, and it went flying into this girl's mouth, who was open mouthed because she was like looking at what was happening on screen. I said, "Can I have that burger back, please?"
Ew.
Said, no, I'm sorry. I said, "Sorry, I've swallowed it." So I was like, "Oh, all right, fair enough."
It's like,
just give me a pound. Just give me about a pound, please, when we leave the cinema.
Oh God.
So that happened.
I don't understand people who eat at the movies like real food. I mean, you can eat snacks.
I actually can't understand it as well. I was just doing it, and then I was thinking.
But you did it. You ate real food.
I was thinking to myself, "You are such an annoying twat." Like there's probably about, there must have been about 10 people in the cinema because it was early. It'll probably get more later on and probably do quite well, I imagine. And I could hear myself crumpling the bag that the fries came in. And then I realized I'd finished them, so I was like, oh dear. And I got a little bit annoyed at myself for being kind of a noisy eater in there. But as far as the film is concerned, I mean, it doesn't really hold up. I mean, sorry, it doesn't take any time to immediately start having like people killed off, whether it's beheadings, like a woman chopped in two and then her bottom half. Somehow the killer gets on top of an actual shopping store where the Thanksgiving disaster happens initially, where people are trampled and stuff, and this is what spurs on the killer. Like he takes the bottom half of hair and drops it so that the legs are splayed like onto the actual side, the top sign of the sign, sorry, like a pointy bit. So it's like he's got those aspects which are, I do think Eli Roth has been criticized for this kind of thing before, as in calling it a bit misogynistic or whatever. But I honestly think he doesn't pay attention to any of that kind of commentary, because what he's doing is very much just an updating of 80s slasher films, or even 70s ones probably, that are fairly, they never concern themselves with being sort of pleasing, to an audience. So so some of it's nasty in that sense, but some of it is also fairly comical.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know if I
in a dark fashion. In a dark fashion.
Ah, okay. Dark.
I think you will enjoy it. I mean, I think considering that you like, Scream and even the latest Scream,
it's great.
Then you've got to, in this, you've got to figure out who the killer is,
Yeah. Well, nothing can be as good as Scream, so yeah. They can try, but they will never make another movie like Scream. Oh. No?
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I've only got me on the screen. Sorry, that's a bit annoying. I think.
What you have Thanksgiving? You have Thanksgiving on a Skype. Skype. No, Skype. How do you watch Thanksgiving? What is that? It's like a streaming platform.
No, this is just listings for the local cinema. It's not on Sky.
I thought it's on Netflix or somewhere else.
These are the show times. So if you scroll down, I just wanted to show you how, for instance, they've still got Exorcist Believer, and if you can believe it, there will be people going to see it at 11:30 at night.
That's great. I mean, it's the best time to see it.
But the thing is, the film came out on the 6th of October, so I think it's actually done really well, considering that I don't think the film is like, it's not a classic or something, but it's.
I agree.
I mean, it's okay.
I mean, it's. I love it, as I said, but not many people did love it. So.
But I think I don't know. I think people have obviously warmed up to it after time. Otherwise, it wouldn't still be on, would it? Let's face it. I mean, if people really cared about reviews, then...
what do you want them to do? To ban it forever from the cinema history?
No, I mean it's just basically like, it feels like they could have added another half hour to the film easily. Sorry, but it's made like 120 million at the cinema so far. So.
Oh wow! Really?
There's no reason why they won't make a sequel, and if they can make the sequel superior, bring in a different director and things like that, and then could be a lot better. But even that, I still think there were things in this that were good. So
yeah, they were. And
I do think, like, especially spoiler alert, in terms of Angela and everything, people are saying basically that she's gone to hell, but she's not actually dead. So I'm thinking like, okay, I don't understand how this works, but fair enough.
She was taken to hell or somewhere in a dark dimension. I don't know.
But they never definitely show her dead, did they? They just cut away from it, and then
for her, it's much better to die than to be taken somewhere. But I don't know if she died.
Yeah, the thing is, then the films are going to be over, because the next one's not going to be just entirely, a separate story. I mean, I'm sure some of it will be. But I think that those two girls are still going to figure in the next one, and it's going to be about like getting her out of hell, that kind of thing, which is, for me, it's all a bit
Getting her
ridiculous
out, yeah.
in the supernatural sense. But at the ending, it was deliberately misleading because it cut to like her supposedly being in hell, and I thought, okay, she's dead.
But I mean,
But then
no, but I mean, it's interesting.
it cut to the you know, the grave of the mother, didn't it? And I thought, oh, that's Angela's. And then
Yeah.
her looking at the empty chair in the classroom, which reminded me like of, you know, Laura Palmer and stuff. That doesn't mean that she's dead, does it? It just means she's not at school.
She's not. Yeah, she's absent. Yeah.
She might be
Exactly.
like in care still, or, you know, in some kind of like care home, or who knows, you know.
Yeah, but that's interesting because it makes us wonder where she is. So that's makes for a good sequel. At least, you know, they should try to make it good, you know, so people won't criticize it so much.
Well, you know, when David Gordon Green says, like, on the day before the film comes out, yeah, I've been talking with the studio and we're thinking, like, maybe I won't direct the next one or write it. It's like, is this supposed to be like good promo? Like, hey, go and see this one. I don't think it was a complete success on my part, but you know, the next one will be someone else will make it. So just go and see this one anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Or also, on the poster, we'll just make it like The Exorcist in big writing, and then Believer in small writing. So any people will actually think it's a remake of The Exorcist.
Yeah, yeah.
But honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the general audience is like. I think most people know it's a sequel to The Exorcist in some way or another. But you know, I do know that there must be people who go and just see the Pope's Exorcist and think it's like an official sequel to The Exorcist. Or
Pope's Exorcist.
You know, the one with Russell Crowe. So
yeah, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, I mean, Voltaire actually gave that one a thumbs up. He liked it, but I mean, for me, I was just sort of like, oh no, this is just too silly, you know.
Yeah,
and it's not scary, you know. I didn't really find Exorcist Believer very scary, I must say. That's the thing. It's like,
it wasn't very scary, no.
It doesn't really give me. It was eerie at times, but it, you know, in the day and age when people can make a film that's an 18 certificate like Thanksgiving and it's really gory generally, quite shocking, I suppose. But you've seen it all before. Like, why does The Exorcist Believer have to be toned down? You know, so it's 15 and it's like, I mean, there's nothing particularly violent in it, is there really? Apart from the
no
priest having his head turned round miraculously by supernatural power.
But I think, I don't know, they didn't have original ideas to introduce, so I don't know. It was just the same thing, you know, over and over again. So I think, yeah.
Well, yeah, attacking Ellen Burstyn with the crucifix, like to stab her eyes out, although it doesn't obviously stab her eyes out. I mean,
no.
That's just sort of like, I thought that whole sequence is like a dream or something, because it's just too ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Well, you know what I said about it. You know, it didn't feel like real life because, or like a real part of the film, because why would she go up there into that room, you know, on her own and all that kind of thing? So, but
yeah. But I mean, for me, the end scene was the best. So I really enjoyed it because of that. It was very amazing, you know, the end scene with the demon.
Yeah,
I mean, I actually cried, you know, because he took her. You know, I was like, oh no, he took her to hell.
Yeah, I think some of those aspects were done quite well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I think the main problem with the film is that it just feels like it's too compromised, and that they probably filmed like 2.5 hours, and they've just cut out 40 minutes to try and make it more commercial, obviously, because I don't know, there's probably not like much precedent for a 2.5 hour exorcism film or that kind of horror film. Like, I mean, a lot of films are that long, but not horror films. I think it's strange, really.
Yeah, it was too long. That's true.
But I wouldn't have minded if it was 2.5 hours. I would have actually liked that. So, because they could have had more scenes with the other family, more certain scary films that were shown in the trailers and then aren't actually in the film. You know, like the mother written on the wall that looks like in blood.
Yeah.
And in the trailer, she says, in one of them, she says, I don't want to go to hell, doesn't she? I think that's the one that was in the film. But then there's another shot where she says, I don't want to die. That wasn't in the film.
Oh, okay.
So they just, it's totally random. It's like, you can't promote a film and then just use various bits that are quite effective. Because my main problem with all the exorcism scenes is it seemed rushed. It was like, you know, wham bam, and then it's over really. And like the end part was good, as you say, and I liked some of the clips where it seemed like they were back in that kind of sewer or whatever it was, you know, where they were in the drainage. It was really good. And all that.
Yeah,
like that was at least something different. I mean, hardly. I wouldn't describe it as being like, you know, sort of a revelation, like, oh my god, I've never seen anything like this in a horror film.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind that, because in a way, the whole idea of them getting lost in the woods is like, you're either with it or you're just like, oh, okay, you know, what is this?
Yes.
What's in the woods? And I know you love that film, but just ask you what's in the woods. I mean, sure. I had a report of the film.
My favorite film. It's my favorite.
I said it to you before. Like, there was a scene in a version somebody saw of the film. I don't know whether it's been cut or what, where they go back to the woods and they find like where they were disappeared or whatever. That there was loads and loads of these kind of, you know, sacrificial doll type things. Okay. And that wasn't in the film. So I'm just thinking, is someone actually making up about the film, or was this in a real, just a different version of the film? But yeah, just about Watch Her in the Woods. Did you not like the part where she's like, her sister's trapped under the water, Jan, and you know, she tries to get her out from underneath the water, and then Betty Davis comes along with a stick and starts poking, and so it looks like she's trying to drown her, but then it's
that was the worst part.
Marlena, how can you say that? What on earth? I mean,
it was terrible all around. Sorry,
no, it was terrible. What version did you watch of this film? Was it like was it bad quality or something? You found it on like
it was crystal clear quality.
Online film gratis.
No, it's Betty Davis from 1980 or something. The one that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. Some of the acting as the film goes on and stuff of the older actors, like who
not very good.
It was the main star, that Holly somebody, I can't remember the name of the actress, but she was basically a figure skater in America, and she just suddenly decided to go into films despite probably no acting ability, and it's very blatant. Like, I mean, to say that she's the main star, she's not exactly. But in a way, I don't know, maybe when I was younger especially, it just it kind of wasn't a big problem for me. So
yeah, I think for younger people, maybe for children, or I think it's better. But
I think you were just thinking like, why is James Mitz telling me to watch this? I mean,
exactly.
Is he making fun of me or something?
Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
No, I wasn't, by the way.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was not in a bad mood or something, but I didn't see anything particular special about the movie. I didn't find anything special.
Well, how about you've not seen Alice, Sweet Alice, that film, have you? It's a sort of early, well, it's like a dark slasher film set in a sort of American neighborhood with a young Brooke Shields who plays only a small role in it, but that's a really good film because it's quite gory in the stabbing scenes it has, but it's also just got this seedy atmosphere to it, which I always, you know, when a film feels kind of gritty in some way, that's, you know, it's all filmed in like real locations and it's raining a lot. Some of the shots in it are just very Twin Peaks-esque, you know, with like women screaming into the camera and things like this. But
Sweet Alice. Yeah, I think Yeah,
It
if you
does have
shoot,
it does have a giallo feel, but it's not filmed in a giallo way. It's not filmed like in a sort of I think some of the set pieces do, but it's filmed more in a sort of just an everyday kind of fashion, Jamie, I would say, and that's what kind of I like about it. It's got some quite standout scenes in it, really. I would say.
okay.
Sorry, I interrupted, but
Yeah, no. No, I don't remember what I wanted to say. But anyway, I mean, the atmosphere, like you said, that Thanksgiving didn't have like a good atmosphere or something like. So that's what I thought about Watcher in the Woods. There was no atmosphere there, I mean, nothing, no tension, nothing. So, and that makes for a very good movie.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'll say in terms of like Watcher in the Woods, it's probably got a bit too much of a children's film atmosphere for it. Maybe that's
Yeah,
the aspect that you.
maybe that's why. Yeah.
Brooke Shield.
Well, it's a really old trailer.
Oh, okay. Alice, Alice.
This film's got like multiple titles as well, so.
Okay, so is it like horror movie?
Yeah, I would say it's a horror for sure. It's definitely got quite a horror atmosphere to it. So, actually, the whole film is on YouTube here, so I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
This trailer looks like
Alice was too old to play with dolls.
good. Nice voiceover on this one.
And too young to make love. Brooke Shields, as you've never seen her before. She was too beautiful to play with boys and too young to play with men. So Alice began to play with death.
She's made repeated requests that the kid see a psychiatrist.
She has a knack of making things look like accidents.
It's dead! It's dead! He tried to kill me!
No more dolls, no more toys. Alice only plays with bodies. It's too late to save her. A story of unnatural love and unnatural death.
Bloody hell! It's showing most of the film.
Wow, it's. Wow,
Do you see that?
Really
see that shot at the end?
That's brutal. Only the trailer is scary as hell.
Yeah, I mean that end shot of the body wrapped in plastic looks exactly like.
Alice was too old to play with dolls.
Oh wow, God.
It's exactly like Laura Palmer, but not as attractive. So
Yeah, no.
yeah, it's a good film, that is for sure. I mean, the amount of women screaming in it for prolonged periods in a sort of, like Sarah Palmer is quite alarming, really. And
Okay.
but effective, and you don't really find that in a lot of films nowadays. Like if you go on Netflix or something, or just look at a lot of slick films nowadays, you won't get just endless shots of women screaming, going.
Okay.
But
no,
higher, I mean higher. Like,
yeah, I think you have to practice. You have to practice your scream for the movie for a long time to be good at it, right?
well, yeah, I mean that's what Voltaire Lynch said in court to one of his clients.
Really?
So you've got to do a more effective scream at this point to prove, that you were wrongly ousted from a job as a checkout girl in a supermarket, that you could do excellent, despite the fact that you were stealing $100 per week.
My God,
Oh.
he's in a very, very brutal industry for this world there.
It is a brutal industry, but that's why it says, you've got to learn to be able to scream in court. I was only stealing $100 a day, Judge, and I need that, okay? I need it. Oh, yeah.
So
Like if you did-
so are you planning to shoot short movies for your channel? 'Cause you
Yeah,
said
that's
some-
some of the acting that I'm going to do in it, actually.
You're practicing your acting right now.
For the part where I'm a possessed man. Basically, the
That would
idea
be
is
good.
mainly
Very original.
I become possessed by a lot of things related to my online conduct. Talking to Mandela Man, for instance, and I'm going to use some clips that he used. He allowed me to use, based around his AI girlfriend called Eve. That kind of thing starts interfering with my mental health. And then, up here where I live, there's like actually a stone circle on the top of the hill. It's a new one though. People made it, like it's kind of a little bit of a new age type of place, but I can film it. When I go up there, that's when the demon, will take over my body.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
but I
no, I'm actually serious. I'm serious. You should do that. You should really do.
Well, it's only a short film, so I mean, there's only so much I can do. But
because you have this kind of atmosphere going on, you have a knack for building this atmosphere in the videos.
Yeah, I mean, just me being in them in itself is, for many people, brings an atmosphere of terror and erotic tension. I would describe it as. Gary said it's like in the films of Jean Rollin, which I think is quite a boast. But no, I mean, I think the internet can be damaging, though. I think if the film does have any, moral lesson or anything, it is don't be in contact with Voltaire Lynch too much on the internet, because you never know what could happen. Because, for instance, he's not actually showing his face. So behind the guise of whatever, he could actually be like the Antichrist, or as in the film, the final conflict, Omen 3, as they call him in that. Sam Neill often played Damien Thorne, the Antichrist. He refers to him as, or refers to the devil as the desolate one.
Mm-hmm.
And that always reminds me of like when I was in where I used to live, and Morella came to visit, and stuff, as she did.
Okay.
A lot of times. But she said, I said, what do you think of it down this particular area where we went? And she says, yes, it's desolate.
What? What?
She said, it's desolate.
Desolate.
Desolate. Did you never ever think that when you were in England or Scotland
about
or Ireland?
About
the sort of the areas you were living in, that they were desolate.
No. Oh my God, that's the opposite. I feel the opposite of being desolate. It's like because you haven't lived in Northern Europe. That's what you call a desolate atmosphere.
You found them more like abundant.
The abundance of loneliness and isolation, of course.
No, but in for instance, Ireland, you liked it because it was, there was a lot of good places where you could go and eat, a pie, or
you could go, yeah, of course, be alone there for a bit.
I mean, cherry pie.
Yeah.
Apple pie. Rhubarb pie.
Or rhubarb. My ex-boyfriend would make a lot of rhubarb jam because they were growing rhubarb in their garden, his family, and that was very delicious. I loved it.
Is that like a euphemism or something?
No, he was really growing rhubarb, like the plant, the rhubarb plant, and he was making jam out of the rhubarb. That was great. I love that.
I don't think where you live is desolate, Jamie, particularly. I mean, it's more just like desolate doesn't necessarily mean an area that has no one in it, like is sparsely populated. It means more just the atmosphere of the place. Like when she was referring to it, she was talking more about the sort of, the houses and the kind of feel of the place, because it was a bit of like a poor area or something, with not much there, a poor area, nothing too splendid.
Yeah, but I was talking about isolation, like isolation and feeling of loneliness and separation. Maybe I misunderstood. I don't know.
Well, no, I was just talking about in comparison with what Jamie's saying, where she lives, because I've seen, I've looked at her area on Google Street Map,
Okay.
because one time basically I was planning a road trip specifically to visit Jamie and also Amish people as a whole. I would like
You
to
want to
become.
meet Amish people?
Yeah, because they often sell large pies by the road and stuff, and
Oh, that's cool.
that just appealed to me because I thought, I wouldn't mind having a piece of one of their pies.
No, me
You know,
neither.
or I would even maybe steal one of their pies.
Well, you'll probably be sued because that's the American way.
I don't know. I don't know whether you'd get sued for theft of a roadside pie, but they sell other. No, I wouldn't really steal it, obviously. I mean, but I might buy it and then actually eat it in the same spot.
But where is this area with Amish people? What is it called?
It's New York State where Jamie lives.
But that's not with Amish people in New York. But
No, New York, like as a city, is obviously.
But rolling hills. Where are rolling hills in New York?
It's not New York City. It's New York State. The two things.
Yeah, in the state.
Are,
okay, I understand.
Separate. So that's like saying, it's like somebody could live in, well, I don't know. I can't really think like a comparison here, but
no,
you
I
could
know
live
that it's a state, but I thought
could.
She was living somewhere in the Midwestern, New USA, Midwestern, somewhere.
No, it's more. No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not an expert on the whole area, obviously, but I know, like for instance.
And I didn't know that Amish people were living in New York State.
Well, if you probably heard of like New Jersey, for instance, so that's.
Oh, okay. So forests. Okay, yeah. So yeah. See, I don't know many things about the state of New York. So probably it's like it's really big.
Well, if you think of like Woodstock is outside New York and everything, isn't it?
It's in New England, Woodstock, no?
Is it? Oh.
It's in New England, yeah. It's where the.
I thought that was near.
But it is near. I mean, it's not very far from New York, Woodstock. Well, that's very David Lynch, forests and New York State.
Well, I've just looked at Woodstock and it's showing me a restaurant in near Stoke-on-Trent. Well, there's one near Derby, actually. Oh, no, what is it? A Woodstock Road. I don't want Woodstock Road, for God's sake. Anyway, forget about
that. Okay. So
well, anyway, thank you for informing me, Jamie.
5 more minutes? Yeah. You want to stay for 5 more minutes because it's quite late here.
No, that's all right for you. Obviously, it's 10:30 for you, isn't it? So
yeah, it's 11.
Thank you for joining me, Marlena.
Thank you, James.
Much appreciated.
Thank you for inviting me.
I wish you.
I invited myself.
A good night. Well, no, I won't say that. But
thank you for the laughs and for the session.
Well, no, thank you as well. So see you in the trees, and
see you in the trees, yeah.
Soon. So thank
Yeah,
you very much.
of course. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and have a good weekend. Bye.